Good morning, everyone. This is Curt Doolittle and Brad from the Natural Institute. Dr. Brad is here helping me again. This is a working session, so if none of you want to, you're expecting a chat that'll be entertaining, or expecting an office hour, or expecting us to be clowns today. Well, we'll probably be clowns anyway, but that's not what's going to happen. It's a working session. Working sessions can be very boring, but we do it to document our work so that people who do care can watch it. And then if we say something smart and I can't write it down fast enough, I can go back and pull it from the video.
That works.
All right. So anyway, I'm going to start with a review because we've been away from it for a week. And that means I'm going to share my screen so Brad doesn't wait 5 minutes while I'm talking to him as if I've got my screen shared before he says, "You realize your screen isn't shared."
Table of contents.
I'm going to put us over here so I can see you a little better. And I'm going to change that over here. Therefore, we have this. Okay, now, boss. Table of contents. This is the outline so far. What are we trying? What's our goal? What are we creating? Then we're going to go through the causality. We don't know. We've changed how we're looking at this here a bit. So I'll fix this when we get to it. I'm not sure we're all there yet, so I don't want to change it yet. So we get to the physics, then we get to the ternary logic, and then the hierarchy of ternary logic, which is the first principles. And then we work into the experiential behavior, right? Which is psychology, sociology, politics at all. And then the evolutionary laws afterward. And then we go into the formal of the grammars and the logics, and etc. That's what we're trying to do. Is we're trying to make a pamphlet that lists all the basic rules without going into the detail. So, for example, what are we creating? What are first principles? And then starting with the physical universe. Okay, so here's causality. So whereas in this one, we're just making declarations. If you look at, I think it's that one. This one. No, come back there. No, it's not that one. It's this one. If you look at this, it goes right down into the foundations of physics, right? It works its way through waves and particles and the background, etc. Right? So we're just trying to give the summary here because Brad is correctly saying we need a pamphlet, right? We need something that somebody can use as a quick reference or an outline or something of that nature. And so we go from causality to discreteness to differentiation to persistence. And then we go into, okay, now we've got persistence, we can accumulate, right? And we can accumulate ways. And once we have the ability to have memory, we can, yes. Once we can store information in the order of higher complexity between things, we can cooperate. And then we can compete. Cooperative organisms can compete, and that can form the test of survival. And together that gets us evolutionary computation. So this first principle of the universe is evolutionary computation. And that gives us that understanding gives us the ternary logic of computation universe. And therefore that gives us decidability, and epistemology and grammars evolve from that. Now, and therefore the four sciences are just the categories of the grammars that consist of the before, during, and after state. In other words, the Markov chain of how the universe works. So what we've done and what we're doing is to try to describe how the universe works as a computational system. Does that make sense?
Yes.
What's your face mean?
Well, there's a question there, and I saw you on the other page that we were looking at a moment ago. It's the distinction between computation and calculation.
Correct.
And it's like there's a the use of the word computation in the work that we're working on. I think it deserves explanation for why that word is being employed.
See what I've got here. I'm just thinking, where do we put it?
Oh, I see.
Because the difference is that you can't, that is instrumentation, computation, and calculation,
Right.
right? So instrumentation is it just does these things.
Okay.
So that's the ability to change state. Computation is anything that's automatable, because all the information is necessary in it. So the universe computates through recombination. It's adding and subtracting. When you get up to calculation, that's transformation of inputs into outputs. So you have to be a person to do that. In other words, you have to want to calculate, you have to want an end. To
Predictable outcome.
right, to compute, you don't. You just reorganize. So there are rules of computation, which we've already enumerated here. So the universe can compute, but it can't know the end point.
Right.
It can't know what it's trying to do. It just does what it can. So whereas in calculation means I'm trying to get something by an act of transforming inputs into outputs. So I suppose we should, where do we describe it?
There was a series that you looked at a minute ago.
Yeah, that's it.
And it's like, I think that
It's number one. This is it.
that's right.
So where do we talk about this?
I think it's a side note inside there after that hierarchy of complexity of computation.
Well, this is stuff this is my notes at the beginning, right? This is stuff
okay.
that I know we have to add.
I
Right?
see.
It's not, the table of contents is here.
I see.
So where in here do we add it? And I would say you could put it into
Yeah.
uh,
It's
the logic about
maybe right after evolutionary computation.
yes. All right, so. Yeah, I think I can put it down here. There's a where somewhere.
Yeah.
Things.
Hmm. Hmm.
So,
So put operations inside that calculation definition. There you go.
yeah, what's the generalized term?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, we've used all the terms. So what, if I want to label it, what the fuck am I figuring shit out?
That defines the potentials, right?
It's a hierarchy. I know that much.
It's an operational potentials.
So in the context we're saying, this is accumulation.
Right?
Mm, No, I don't want to say that.
It's interesting because it's like, trial and error.
It's the evolution.
Yes.
That made me happy. Does that make you happy?
Yeah.
Let's see.
That's very nice.
We do good work, you know?
Very nice.
This is auto association. Right. Is that okay, Buzz?
Yeah.
You questioning something?
No, I'm just studying it. That one I didn't predict you coming up with.
I don't want to dilute this.
Right.
I felt like maybe this. Wait. The context of it. Of that.
Hmm.
I still don't like it.
No, it's like, I just was not predicting that you were gonna do that, and I'm like, okay. It's an interesting addition.
No. Oh, I see what's going on here.
Like that cycle functions at human scales and animal scales,
Mm-hmm.
but not at all. It doesn't function at all scales.
Right. It's that one.
So it's two loops.
Mm-hmm. And this is the middle.
Hmm.
Get rid of that and make it. This is where we. This is where we meet.
Right.
That's way deeper than it looks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because it can't do this. It can't do this.
Right.
All right. Is that right? Yeah, that is right. Okay. All right, so now I forgot what we were doing. Where do we have some yellow here? We got yellow there. We got yellow there. We got yellow here. And we've got some definition here.
Hmm.
You do good work, Brad. Well, we just got this hard part to finish here.
Which part?
Well, I've got these little yellow bits here that are stuff we haven't written in this form before. Whereas
Right.
all this
Oh.
shit, we've written this all this stuff out. Right. So this is just gonna require some review. So we're
Right.
doing the hard part here. So I think my instinct would be to just to finish what we've outlined before we go further. Is that all right?
That's right.
All right. I don't know if I want to do this until I talk to what's his name.
That's all right too.
Because electromagnetism is an effect of what we're doing, right? I mean,
Say that again, please.
well, so far we're talking about operations, right?
Right.
We aren't talking about what we call electromagnetism, which is the polarity side. In other words, we're not talking about polarity as the instrumental means by which the organization of this happens. We talk about pressure, but we don't talk about polarity.
Okay.
And though a lot of what we do, as we do this everywhere, is polarity. So essentially, polarity is the result of, I don't know if I can do this in opposite directions. This way, this way, and this way. I can't. I'm not going to try. That's like,
That's ridiculous.
I know I can do it because I've done it before, but I'm like, right now, there's no way. So I don't want to concentrate that hard on that. So we're not talking about polarity, which brings in permittivity, permeability, polarization, and electromagnetism. And I keep running into why. Why do we need to talk about it? Well, the reason we need to talk about it probably is just to take it off the table.
I see that because it's like to me, I see it as the fact that we talk about it's pressure, right?
Yes,
So and it's all polarization,
correct. But
pressure and anti-pressure, right?
right. Well,
So, like increasing volume is anti-pressure.
right, but that's you can but the result of that can be expansion or concentration. When you concentration, you get polarity. Right? So when you get dissipation, you don't. But when you get concentration, you get polarity because the pressure has to be relieved by spin. Right? So does that make sense? So
I understand you.
So I feel like we have to take it off the table.
So you do, because it's like it goes to the pressure thing is existence versus non-existence, right?
Right.
And then the polarization of existence is what you're referring to.
Mm-hmm.
See, there's a plus minus or minus plus there. So entropy is minus, negative entropy is plus.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and then this is plus, but that plus is turned into polarization, which is plus equals minus.
yes.
That's minus equals. Right. Right. So that polarization is the same thing going this way as expansion is going this way.
Yes.
So,
So it gives it another dimension of potential for expansion.
well,
No?
concentration. Energy. So
Yeah, it's getting concentrated, but it's giving it a potential inside there to dissipate energy.
to accumulate, not expand.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
Yes. So it will hold more. It's like giving it more space inside there.
Right. That's
It allows it to accumulate and remain stable.
yeah. Yeah, they really fucked up by trying to dismiss the ether. That was a really big fuck up. I mean, when you realize how simple it is, that was a big fuck up. Just so they could justify Einstein's equation of merging time and space, which are measurements idealized into a physical thing, which is, I mean, when you look back at it, it's like fucking Newton talking about witchcraft, you know.
Oh my.
It's fucking exasperating.
I like that.
Well, you like this?
Yeah.
All right, so let's take off the possibly. That's the wrong key.
There's a relation here that I wanted to touch base with, which is relation to there's a there's the primary function is existence versus non-existence, which is the first part of that, which potentiates instrumentation.
Okay, I've almost got it. Try it again.
The,
Potentiates
the
instrumentation.
polarization a lot is the instrumentation at work, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad we had this conversation.
God, it's hard stuff, man.
Well, I was just looking at it as, is this necessary? But if I ignore it, then we just had this come out of
Yeah.
spin, but we don't. I got spin in here. Oops, I didn't see that one.
So this it says into polarization as accumulation into a stable relation.
Say it again.
It says into polarization plus minus equals as accumulation into a stable relation.
Yeah.
And I'm saying potentiating accumulation into a stable relation. Yeah. I want you to fix that operations in the next sentence in the parenthetical because it has two P's and it's disturbing me. Yeah. The shit you do for a giggle. Oh Lord.
If you've ever programmed with someone, what they call it pair programming. It only works for very young programmers, but I think mostly it's gone away now. If you ever tried to work together in programs, it's very much like what we're doing.
Right.
It's just like, you just start up coming with the dumbest fucking variable names, right? You write functions that insult your mother. I mean, it's the same.
Dudes trash talking while they're
It's
working.
just
At
nerd
their work.
nerd trash talk, right? I mean, just the way to get a little giggle in there to release some of the stress.
Oh Lord.
You know,
So that's
this fucking function John made me write because he's an asshole, and I don't want to write because I'm stubborn. You just type that in really fast, and you both get a chick, and you delete it, and you go on and write it.
right.
Yeah.
Now what's interesting is this, that's the birth of the ternary system right there.
Yes. This is so fucking beautiful. I mean, it's just beautiful. It's just elegant. Why? I would love to answer. Oh, is energy over time? Why? Why? Easy. Right. So I don't know if I want to go do this right now.
Okay,
I can just outline it. Can't spell either. It's, I don't think it's two T's in permittivity. No, there's two T's. Yeah, there is, yeah. Permittivity, okay, I get it. I gotta, I'm not doing this today because I don't feel like going on the rat hole of trying to explain these things.
right,
Permeability, polarization. All right. If I still got my thingy, yeah.
that polarization is misspelled. Right. Just checking,
Got to keep you on your toes.
yeah,
You didn't tell me about the L there.
I didn't notice it yet. And now I can't.
Why don't they teach it this simply?
I have no good answer for that. I think it's because the kid didn't learn it this simply.
Yes. It's like math. Once you do math the way Michael and I worked on math, it's like dumb. It's
Perfect.
it's still got a little bit of witchcraft in it, you know? It's just there's some weird stuff, and I was like, what? Why do you do that? Why do you conflate those two things?
I think it's just the failure of the language as an instrument. And it's a measure of the mind, and
I think it's just a normal accumulation of a language. It's when we think of it as a language.
yeah,
And the problem with the language is it's hard to have a language reform. Right? I mean, it's hard to reform a
very
language.
expensive.
And so nobody wants to reform the language. They only do it when they encounter something embarrassing. Like when they think that there's when they think they falsified the ether, but they were just half wrong. Instead of saying they call it the quantum background instead of the ether. Well, what's the freaking difference? Well, because when we talk about it as ether, we meant it this way. I'm like, yeah, I know. Yeah, but now you've made a mathematical construct of what it was a physical construct, and now you've confused the whole fucking thing up, and you forget that all these little confusing bits of nonsense add up to metaphysical presumptions about the world that make people do stupid shit. Did I just make you giggle on that one? I got a laugh
A
out of
little
it.
bit. It's okay. It's just it's like genetic introns. It's hmm. Hmm.
Hold that one instead. We didn't work. All right, so what do we got up here that we've gotta give love to? Entropy is limited. Given the conservation of energy equals energy cannot unexist. Means
That's a weird one right there.
yeah, because I've got really massacred the language. Entropy is limited. Given the conservation of energy means energy cannot unexist, then as such, the minimum energy.
Whoa, yeah, that doesn't work. Can't you have two as such as in a row?
Why did I write then? I wrote as such again instead of then.
Yes.
I don't know what this is. I don't know what I was going to say there. Pause.
When you mean decay, you mean energy? Okay.
Okay,
Mhm.
energy over time. There's only two things that can be affected. One is the decrease in volume,
Okay,
over time. I have to leave this one open. Switches on.
yeah.
'Cause you can get enough going in one direction. So is charge, in other words, is charge is charge on net or an absolute?
That's quite an interesting question.
This will tell me how to frame that. That might be why they look, the numbers are odd. That's probably why. All right. I'll have to ask him. This is probably right. I think this is the question.
What's that?
Well, this is probably, it's probably right. So in other words, if you have so many, electron volts, whatever, of charge, is it a net? Or is it an absolute? In other words, I don't know, I just don't know the answer.
It's a very interesting question because it's like, what are we talking about? Does that make sense?
We're talking about the formation of dipoles,
Right,
right? So everything has a polarity. The question is, if you're, I'm not gonna do the spin thing,
right.
right? Because I'll get this way and this way.
Yeah.
Fucking hard to do. All right. Uh, I'll do it this way. Yeah. Yeah, that's wrong. Anyway, so it's just doing this for the humor value. So if I have something with a positive charge, does that mean that there's that's a net? In other words, there's a positive spin and a negative spin, and that's a net? Or does it mean that there's and spin, I'm using this term in the one, it looks way more like a lightning storm.
Right,
Right,
right.
right, but spin is the way we talk about it. So is the charge a net of the positive and the minus? Or is can a charge of enough of a charge persist on its own that it's an absolute? And I actually don't know the answer. I don't see why it wouldn't be able to produce. I can't imagine how you can get away from it being a net, but I'll find out.
Right.
It's this I want to ask him about. This is a part I'm not sure.
You just knocked the T out.
Like I can't do that without somebody better at the quantum background than I am. All right, so we can leave that. That's the first one, right? So that's okay. Okay, acquisition. So we've gone from accumulation, right, which is physics, to position, which is life. That fried my brain a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
What's the difference between a molecule and a biomolecule? Carbon? I can't remember.
Organic molecules. It's carbon, I think, is fair.
Organic I'm using bio when I should use
It's
organic.
it's like organic chemistry, and it's like I think that's what characterizes them or distinguishes them.
Let's just save myself. I love these things. I love the ability of this shit to save me time.
How, what's going to save you time?
The open AIs,
Oh,
GPT. I love the fact that this thing, because most of what I'm doing is like, how do I disambiguate these terms? Difference.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know what it's going to say. The distinguishing feature is life, but it's not going to tell me why. And I'm like, I think the why is carbon, isn't it?
Yeah,
Carbon, hydrogen, the carbon, hydrogen.
some nitrogens.
I know a lot of stuff, but I don't. It can't get at it all the time.
Right? It's a search problem.
Yeah, I know this. Yeah, you're not helping me here. Why do we call it? It's going to give me the stupid answer. I know. I can tell you. It's going to give me the stupid answer. Some things are able to do work. That's the answer. I know that's what the answer is. Here we go. Yeah, I know this. Carbon is the yummy thing. Okay, versatility. Yeah, I know that one. Stability. There we go. There it is. Carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Or energy. Work.
Yeah.
Energy. Work.
There's that's an interesting there's an interesting look at this. Carbohydrates are energy and structures, right?
Yeah.
Proteins do work. They can change their forms and do perform work.
Mhm.
The lipids are like their differentiation. They're like the opposite polarity to the carbohydrates. The nucleic acids are information.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
You see what I'm
We
looking at?
have, or yeah, you're saying we have energy storage, work and organization or information. Organization, yeah, organization and information, yes.
So the structural components, right, and energy storage are the lipids and carbohydrates are a polarity.
Say that one again, I didn't get that one.
They're like they're like polar opposites. Because the carbohydrates are soluble in water
Okay,
to a greater or lesser extent, right?
yeah,
The lipids are not, because they're hydrophobic,
mhm,
and they provide the difference that allows the for the lipids are the cell layers, the cell, not wall,
cell
cell
wall, membrane, yeah.
membrane. Carbohydrates make walls and other forms of structure. They work in opposition to one another to give the proteins and the information a place to operate. They create the differences, the potentials. So I see a polarity there.
Yeah, I see it, I get it. I don't know how to write about it yet, but I get it.
I understand. I get the problem because it's hard to express.
So we have energy, information, organization and polarity. And work, right? I gotta write this down, it's starting to get more to my feet. So we have. Energy. Polarity, right? Organization. Is that right? Information. Organization. Work.
Yeah.
I don't know if those are all the same. I don't know if that's the same. So we have, we have requirements, right? We have polarity, energy, information, energy. So, how do I do this? Capacity, it's really the capacity to do it.
What? Yeah. Which is to use energy to make transformations, right? Right.
So we want to put these out here. We'll just disambiguate each one and then we've got it, okay. Um. It's really just kind of. Um. And
This is like a rabbit hole here.
Huh?
It's like a rabbit hole.
You told me not to go into it?
I don't know. I'm just like, it's like, because it's like, how deep is this rabbit hole gonna go? Right?
I think we got it right here. This is what we're looking for. The question is whether we gotta do this or not.
Right.
We may only have to do this. And we may just do these things and say that there. How do these things work together?
Well, what?
Is there a sequence here? Yeah, there is. It is a rattle.
I'm like, it's like, here's the question. Well, let's go back. Let's put it in context. So back up 2 steps so we can see where we're coming from. Right.
So we're trying to talk about, here are physical processes. Here are biological processes. And then here are cooperative processes.
Which is,
So it's physics, non-sentient life, and sentient life. So we're trying to say, how does this thing do its job? How does these processes
okay.
do their job? How do they perform?
There you have it right there. So your requirements for life, that's it, sufficient.
We don't need this stuff.
I don't think so, because I'm like, you're going into too much detail.
Yeah. Okay, fine.
Because this is just a pamphlet.
Okay.
Save it for the book. Yeah. Well, why do you have carbon in there?
I don't know if I need carbon in there. I think I can need, I have to have it in there.
What?
I don't know how to talk about it without. Give me a second. You're ahead of me.
Hmm.
I don't know. It gets a lot easier to talk about if we just say example carbon, example, example, example.
Oh,
So maybe I want to have that. I just don't need the full definition here. I just need the examples. Oh, fuck you. Excuse me.
huh. Who are you talking to when you say that?
Well, now I can take that off. And I can do this. There's so much you can talk about.
What's that?
It's easier to talk about. want me to do this. Okay.
There you go.
Information.
So that's energy. Organization is between carbohydrates and lipids. Both are subsets of organization.
Oh, where's energy?
They're both.
Well,
Bill.
Got it right?
I'm like thinking of it like this. It's like it's organization of energy, but it's also organization of matter. Because you divided the matter, that's the matter, and how it's organized is what we're talking about. And it creates potentials. That the work occurs across.
That's the right answer. So how would I separate these? How would I define these?
What do you mean?
Well, these are short and long-term storages, but how do they create a differential?
Okay. So the lipid bilayer, right,
Uh-huh.
creates a potential and it prevents it prevents in the cell from, it allows the cell to distinguish itself from the rest of the world.
Okay.
With an aqueous environment inside.
Distinguish. Separate. Okay. And what does the carbohydrate do?
Carbohydrate those are used to create structures to protect the cells and allow them to do things they can't do in a dry environment, right? Like cell walls. Structural. That's what that's why they have structural.
Is it it's a wet environment, dry environment, liquid
It
environment?
doesn't matter, but it's like it creates an opportunity to have structure. The cells to be structured instead of gelatinous blobs. So it allows for multicellular organisms, right?
Mhm.
That's how it is right there. So the lipids allow for the creation of single-celled organisms. That is not right.
It's not right.
It's not how you spell organisms. Put an S in there. That's not right. That's right.
I don't know if it's right.
It is. That's right.
single cell.
Yeah, allow for cells to organize. So don't put single, just any cells. That's necessary for cells to organize, right?
Uh,
And this, yeah,
this goes second.
that's how I see it. That was one way to do it.
Is it multicellular or more than that?
Cellular, LAR.
Yeah, but is it okay? Yes, okay. One more. Right, that's all it is. Organization. Structure.
What's interesting. So what we're doing here is quite an interesting exercise. So you know,
Okay.
what we're doing, we're having to do this is to we're having to restate the basic scientific premises under the new paradigm,
Yes.
and that's hard work because it's like, where's the precision of the language? We're going back through with a fine-tooth comb and removing ambiguities that previously existed. And
Well, just reading a universally commensurable system of measurement.
It's not a small task.
Well, thankfully, all these people did the work beforehand, so we can do this work. But
Mm-hmm.
for the capacity to be like that's really what it is.
that
Capacity to do. Do I have to? Do I have to have this anymore?
no, you've incorporated into the examples.
You.
It looked like it did something, but I don't think it did.
It's one at a time here.
There you go.
What can I copy quickly from carbon over here? Yeah, I'm very doubtful anything other than carbon-based life is gonna exist.
Okay.
Oh. I want a simple version of why this is good. It's not, I have to simplify that. I have to. I'll just normalize this. I'll simplify this. Anybody is ever gonna appreciate how much work this took?
About as much as so like that thought is about as perishable as the thought that you would do it on purpose. Like start out on this venture. Wait, I don't like the word enabling there. I think it should be generating the potential for. Because then we're using the same language throughout.
Gotcha. Carbon can.
That have the potential for dynamic function as well. One of the things about carbon is it allows for the molecules themselves are dynamic. They can do these things like this, right?
Yes, exactly.
And it's like, so I would say for the formation of dynamic long chains and branch structures and ring-shaped molecules.
Formation of dynamic.
That says so much, and it's just amazing that it's
Yes.
just amazing.
Let's just keep the format.
What's that?
Let's just keep the format, which generates.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say take dynamic out of there and put variable environmental conditions.
Adaptive. Unification. Oh, come on. So what did I fuck up here?
Stable is in there twice. 6 and 7 are the same.
That's the. That's. Let's go do persistence.
Hmm.
Uh, Persistence. Of what? No, it's not a it's persistence. This is not persistence. This is potential complexity. Hmm.
Yeah.
It makes a whole lot more sense when you do it this way.
Simplifies it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So it's a molecular, it's atomic cooperation, right?
Say that again.
It's atomic cooperation.
All right.
And yeah, I would say that there's yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that the carbon part goes before.
Explain.
So these parts above are molecular cooperation functions.
Oh, you need carbon first.
There you have it.
Well, I had it that way in the first place. Why didn't you correct me back then?
I just had to let you go through this
Oh, I
process.
see. I see. You just,
This
let the child
you
learn
know,
his own
you know who
way.
I was thinking of? I was thinking of my good friend from Texas, Uncle Kenny, right? I had some thoughts about Uncle Kenny and how smart he is, and he's not wrong.
So wait, say again. I didn't get it.
Uncle Kenny was not wrong. He was right.
Why is this doing this to me? I know I have this problem all the time. See, it's the numbering is off because I've done something wrong here. I can't remember what I have to do. I have to do two different things. I have to go like this. I'll copy that out. God damn it, don't you fuck with me. You in here. Put you in here. Yeah. Fine, I'll do it the hard way. I know how to do it and I've just forgotten.
I understand.
There we go. Now I'm gonna take you forward, put you in. Yes, but why am I having this? There we go. That's what I'm looking for.
Hmm, hmm,
Did we do good, boss?
that's very excellent.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of that bit. Holy shit, we do good work. It happens. Oh, gotta do this one.
It's work, man.
Do we even need to touch this now? Do I need to put carbon in here? Do I need to this word carbon here?
No,
I think so.
wait, let's go back up there to the heading. It says organization of potential combinations. How about generation of potential combinations?
I think we need to, no, I think we do need to say something about carbon.
Yep. Carbon is essential. Carbon generates opportunity. You have to get rid of that apostrophe in there. It's
Thank you. I wish I could train myself out of that.
Huh.
It just comes out of my fingers. There's no brain involved there.
I know.
I like this. I like this a lot. Why is that making me so happy?
Because it was hard. That was hard, man. I like the use of the AI to get it, amplify the speed of it.
It makes our work easier. Is this right? We're talking about biomolecules here. Or we're
Yeah.
talking about life here.
Yeah, this biomolecules.
Okay, now I feel better.
Even better.
Oh boy. We got a big one now. I'm so fucking thrilled about this. I keep looking at it and it's like, God, why did they teach it to us like this?
It's because the other paradigm was operating. It was fragmented, right?
Yeah, it's because they were trying to define the meaning of terms. They could talk about it, but they weren't telling us in advance how simple it was. When I was when I was a kid, we were still taught the orbit model of the atom, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, and I remember sitting there like, there's no fucking way it works like that. And I'm just, the problem when you're a dork like I was, is that you you run into these things where this can't be right, but don't have the tools. You don't even have anybody to ask.
No.
You don't have the tools to, and people can't even understand the questions you're asking. It's
I just was interesting because I was quiet about it, and I'm like, this is like, it's like this model they're presenting is a cartoon figure of what is actually occurring, and I
yes.
know it, and I don't even know what to say about that, and that's okay. I didn't care. I just let it ride because it's like that's the best they can do, and I can work with that, right?
Yeah. That is so beautiful, Brad. All right, so we've done biomolecules, proto-life, and then life.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's good. I don't know why it's taking so long for the freaking thing to pay attention to me here. Hello, please disambiguate. Bio, proto, life, and life.
Hmm. Boy, that thing is slow.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on today. I can't figure if it's it or my machine or what.
Right?
Metabolic processes do work, grow, or replicate.
I don't think it's necessary to talk about proto life.
I don't either.
because it doesn't count.
No. I was trying to get the RNA, but there's no way, no need to.
No, that's too much depth.
Metabolism, growth, reproduction, response to stimuli, adaptation. Well, if you're
Adaptation.
coming up with something humorous or sarcastic, it just,
Adaptation is funny because it's like, it means homeostasis is what that means.
yes.
Because it's like adaptation to the environment over evolutionary terms is just the Red Queen killing everybody that doesn't get to live.
Look how it picks up on me.
Huh.
Okay, so what we're just gonna do is characteristics, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna cut out. This. We're gonna think about that. Reproduction, the right standard to use. I think that's the right one.
Say that again.
Well, the generalization of metabolism is work. The
Yeah.
generalization of growth is accumulation. Is there a generalization of reproduction? I don't know. Why isn't that?
Persistence.
I see. Is it? Isn't it persistence and growth?
It's a persistence and accumulation, and evolutionary computation too.
I'm gonna put this in there. What I'm gonna call that as. What did you say the other one was? Growth and what else?
Evolution, accumulation and evolutionary computation. Recombination.
Wait a minute. Have we defined evolutionary computation already?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Growth.
See, grow. You've said growth twice now.
No, I know that.
I'm just making a noise.
No, it's a good thing. I don't know what to. So work, growth. Persistence, right? That's great. And then that's together. That's like a set. And then that goes into.
This is okay. That first set is in time. The next one is overtime.
Thank you. You know, you're good at this.
Been practicing.
I try to think of some way to tease you. It didn't happen.
I noticed.
Why did I do that? Overtime.
Where of time.
Huh?
I was just saying how you spelled it. Where of time.
Okay.
That's the in time thought function there.
Yeah.
That's behavior, right? Isn't that how you called it before?
I'm confusing myself. Hold on. Let's start. Say that again.
Response to stimuli is behavior.
Yeah. Now I'm just trying to figure out how to organize it.
Behavior is in time.
Isn't? Is there? Isn't there two?
There's probably two. There certainly are two of adaptation to the environment.
All right. So this is another one, right? And there's three. Adaptation to the environment, right?
Okay.
Persistence.
Yes.
I got this the wrong way around.
Yeah. It's adaptation to the environment, right?
Well, I mean, I think we're trying to make. I mean, you're not adapting by. I mean, the reason you're surviving is you previously adapted.
Okay.
So in over time. So what's a place, right? What's the in time, overtime? In time, overtime, and then what? Consequence. What I use is consequence.
Yeah.
I need to say that.
No.
Yeah. Work accumulation, persistence, behavior, reproduction. There's more than persistence here. Persistence and growth. Persistence, growth, is mutation.
What?
Is what's this? What's the right word for this? Reproduction, right?
It's
We have to have this.
yeah. It's variation, it's variability, it's
Why is this still filling me with joy? I mean, it's kind of weird, isn't it?
it's a work, right?
Yeah.
But it's instrumentality. Because you're making tools,
Uh-huh.
and that will amplify the value for everybody forever. That's what's joyful about it, I think.
Whenever we get something to first principles, I'm like, okay, this is a first principle in the a first principle constructed from first principles. Right, it's just well, I don't need to make a transition here. Therefore, resulting in okay. I guess a couple things here so we can give ourselves a pat on the back.
Hmm. Before, during, after, that's funny.
Where
Go back up. That section there, in time is before. During. Thank you.
I resisted. I was wanting to do it again, but
I know.
Yeah.
I was watching you very closely.
I just, we can finish this. I want to finish this. We only got one more thing to solve. Is that okay?
Right. Why not? What are we going to solve now?
Well, before now we get to go into cooperation, which is just filling in needs. So I just want to solve these.
I'm gonna get some coffee.
I'm gonna get some more coffee. I gotta make a. Oh, they're closed today.
What?
Well,
What?
I wanted to go out for breakfast and there's no I'm a late breakfast, but I have to go to eggs.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was gonna go down. I was saying, okay, well, I'm starting to get hungry, so we'll finish this up and I'll go get something to eat. And, but my neighborhood cafe is on vacation this week.
Oh, how dreadful.
It's a
Makes you appreciate them more, though, doesn't it?
right. And the really, really good place isn't open on Sunday because they're good Christians. And that leaves me with eggs down there and the Italian place over there. And not my very favorite place.
I'm sorry. It's challenging, isn't it? Your coffee was fast.
Because it was just brewed. I only just pour it in my cup.
Oh. Okay, what are we fixing now?
I obviously wrote this for a reason. What reason did I write it and what am I trying to communicate? So I know if it needs to be put somewhere. Disorder into organization. Work versus
But what this is,
oh, it's sentient life. It's matter. Biomolecules, life.
yeah.
Sentient life. Versus conscious life. Versus institutional life.
Now that thing, it seems like it goes to, that's funny right there.
It's just doing so many ways.
What's that?
So many ways institutional life. Yeah, we should put a lot of people in institutions. That's for
Yes, sir. Someone was making that argument here not 2 days ago.
You were making that argument?
It was that we used to institutionalize the crazy women.
Yes.
Now we let them run free.
Why is this doing this to me?
No. Yeah. Fix bio molecules. Thank you.
What is this hierarchy of? It's a scale of computation, right?
What's that? It's discussion of increasing, yeah. These are levels of complexity.
Let's see what.
Well, cooperation. Okay. Okay. There's scales of evolutionary computation.
Scales. Scale of evolution. Which no longer belongs here then.
I think it belongs before all the stuff we've been doing. Because it's like that's like a presaging what is to follow.
Where's the summary?
There you go.
I think it's a summary.
Oh,
Okay, that made me happy. We have one thing left, right? It's this one. Multicellular. What's the next step up? Multicellular life.
is cooperative multicellular life, right?
Right. And then it's let's just leave it there, right? Or something. Do I need to get any more involved in that?
No.
I think so. Jesus, Brad, we did good fucking work today.
Well,
Awesome. Okay, let's go down. So what's next?
waves past those.
Oh, I just want to see what we got here. We've got. God, this is fucking beautiful. Why am I feeling so good today? Why is this?
Some satisfaction here, huh?
It's very satisfying. It's partly, it's just so much, so wonderful to work with, you know. It's always wonderful, but
That's even better now.
It's even better now.
That was well done, positivity.
It's true. I don't think if I can do this or if I'm too tired. I think I'm too tired.
I would say if you have to ask the question, it's a sign. Like,
I had hella fun today, Brad. I gotta tell you.
it's good. It was very good work.
Man, I like the lighting you got there. You look freaking good.
Thanks,
I
Curt.
like it. It's really good.
Was working in yeah, how about that?
All right.
It's pretty good. And then yeah, we're making progress. This pamphlet is getting done.
And it's really fucking good. Wish I had more energy. But
You have enough
I'd rather not burn myself out because it keeps me.
That's right. No, you wanna leave the table with desire to return.
You know, we've got just, these are things we know how to do,
Yeah.
right?
It's like the yeah, if we create a pamphlet and put it out there, that gives the people who want to study this material something to wrap their hands around, and they can work.
That's it right there. There's all this other stuff. I mean, look, we've done all this work already. We have to edit it, but okay. I don't care. I care that the quality of the work is there,
Yeah.
that it's not killing me to do it, that you're an amazing partner in it. Okay, I feel good. Okay, so if anybody who has been following us, anyone wanted to sit through this, congratulations. You're a martyr for the cause. But anyway, this has been working session Sunday, August 27th, 2023. I'm kind of fried, so I'm gonna go have some lunch.
Wait, before you go,
Oh, yes.
people hit like, subscribe, and the notification bell, and then leave those comments.
Yes, please, thank you. Tell Brad he's handsome and charming. All right, guys, I'm just gonna stop recording.